Alrighty, thank you, Mr. Shim, today for opening up this space. I feel that this space right now, we can use it to teach the 9 character true words. For a long time, I wanted to introduce you and your family and your community in this building, a lot of neighbors. It's very precious 9 character true words. The Chinese way to say the 9 character true words is 基优九知一字知恩真一安言 Beautiful 九字真言 Beautiful. Yeah, perfect pronunciation. 9 character true words. 九字真言. What are the 9 characters? And it's called true words. First, let's learn, and I'm going to say something about that. So the first character is 真知恩真施安善日恩忍和凹好 Beautiful 真善忍
好
Beautiful
正善人好
The first one is 真善忍好
真善人好
Beautiful. That's the correct tone. 真善忍好 Next is 法
轮大法好
法轮大法好 Beautiful. Again.
法轮大法好
Try again.
法轮大法好
Correct. That's the correct tone. It's very important to pronounce it correctly with the correct tone. Okay. 法轮大法好
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 Correct. This is not the 论. If the fourth one is go down, but it's the second one. It's up. 法轮大法好 Like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So those are the 4 Chinese characters that are delivered by the Falun Dafa practitioners all over China during the Wuhan pneumonia time. Lots of people in Wuhan, they were dying. Lots of people were dying from white lung symptom. And Falun Dafa practitioners teach them how to speak, how to recite these 9 characters. They recover. And there is a lady in Long Island. She has a beautiful story. She was like a rich lady selling jewels, you know. And she somehow got the virus during the pandemic, and she could not breathe. She thought she was about to die. A friend of her on the phone taught her how to recite 9 character true words. And she didn't even know how to speak any Chinese. She didn't know how to speak any Chinese. She just understands this 9 Chinese. Her friend is a Falun Dafa practitioner, taught her on the phone. At the time, she was stressed out. She didn't have any other solutions. Medicine doesn't work. So she just recited the 9 character true words. And she said it was so miraculous. She said she could not stop. She just need to keep on reciting in order to have the lung to have air. Otherwise, her lung doesn't open up. Her lung was all stuffed and cannot get in any fresh air. But as long as she recited these 9 characters, the lung opens up, enough air for her to breathe. Eventually, she totally recovered. She's telling everybody about her story on the internet. I have a video that I will share with you one day. So me, there is an H-Mart worker. Her name is George. He worked in H-Mart and he put away the cards. He was the one that organized the cards. And I met him several times in H-Mart, and he likes to ask me questions. When I give him a brochure about Falun Dafa, he likes it. So when the pandemic started, he was not wearing mask and that much. He had the mask like this. And he came over to me and he talked to me just like face to face, I talked to him without worry. We talked and then I went home. The next day he called me, "Doctor, I'm positive. I got the virus." I went to the hospital and the doctor said, "Go home because you don't have much symptom, but you're positive. Just stay home. If you cannot breathe, call 911. He said, "I'm very nervous. What I'm gonna do?" I said, "George, don't you worry. Make sure that you recite these 9 characters." When I first was telling him that, he was not paying much attention. Okay, so he went back and then he called again. He said, "Oh, he's starting to feel uncomfortable now. What to do?" I said, "Again, recite the 9 characters." And then he didn't tell me anything. We didn't continue conversation. I was just keep on sending him some informations, but he didn't respond to me. Several months later, he called me. He said, "Doctor, you saved my life. I want to thank you for it." He said, "I'm totally recovered." He said, "I want to go back to work in H-Mart, but H-Mart doesn't want me anymore." He said, "I lost my job." I said, "Don't you worry, George. Although you lost your job, but you're all okay." He said, "Yeah, I'm all okay. I'm all fine now. I'm all strong and all good." So that's George. And in my own, observation, this Falun Dafa, the Falun Dafa practitioners, message about 9 character true words. For me, even I'm a Falun Dafa practitioner, I recite all the time. Wherever I walk, I recite. And I taught everybody in my life how to recite 真善人好, 法人大法好. I taught my son, my daughter, my little friends, my children, or the students, or the community members how to recite 真善人好, 法人大法好. And Angela, who did the hypnosis, she told me that when she was doing hypnosis for someone, and the person was taught how to recite 真善人好, 法人大法好, and there was one person says, "Wow, when I recite 真善人好, 法人大法好, I visualize my cells throughout my body start to shine. The light, the energy was like bright, shiny, So I think it's true because when I recite 法人大法好, 真善人好, I feel my body start to have this energy, very strong energy. Sometimes I also cough a little bit. This global pandemic, we encounter virus all the time. Whenever I feel my body is feeling a little attacked by some negativities, I immediately recite 法人大法好, 真善人好, 真善人好, 法人大法好. When I recite that, my body starts to totally balance again. So my experience, this is incredibly powerful 9 characters. Anybody can test it yourself. I read articles on Minghui website. These are all true stories by Falun Dafa practitioners, family members. Some of them recovered from cancer. Some of them recovered from heart disease. Many of them recovered from the so-called 瘟疫, COVID-19. The so-called COVID-19, as a matter of fact, we've been talking, is 瘟疫. Okay, so this is called 九字真言, 9 character true words, and I just want to take this opportunity to introduce to our community 真, truthfulness, 善, compassion, 仁, forbearance, 真善人, These are the three words as taught in the teachings of Falun Dafa, this ancient mind-body practice. This practice, in the main teaching, the book called Zhuan Fa Lun, Turning the Law Wheel, talked about and introduced about these three characters, 真善人, and says that 真善人, truthfulness, compassion, forbearance, is the fundamental nature of our universe. Fundamental nature of our universe. 真善人. So we are part of our universe. We are talking about the new universe that our creator. This is a little high. A lot of people don't want to, believe it. But I think we already talked a lot about it. I just say that the old universe, the reason the old universe is going through formation, stasis, degeneration, and destruction, 成住坏灭, is because the old universe has starting to deviate away from the original law that created the universe. The original law of the universe, even gods in the old universe don't know. They deviated away from it. Now our creator is rectifying the law. In the old universe that's already degenerated and leading to the future destruction of the universe, to rectify the law with the original law that created the universe, only our creator can save us, save all beings in the universe. These three words, if we keep it in our heart, if we say that 真善人好, 好 means good, means that we want to be part of the new universe. Okay? 真善人好, you keep on reciting our whole universe. Our body is a universe. Our whole universe starting to be assimilating to the law of the universe. That's why it can be saved. The old universe can be saved if you keep on reciting these three words sincerely and allow your whole cell, whole body, all the molecules, all the beings in your system understand that this is the true identity. Truthfulness, compassion, forbearance is the true identity of everything in this universe. When we open up that message, our creator can help us. Okay, so 真善人好, 法轮大法, Falun Dafa is the wisdom of the creator. So although right now we initially learned as a Qigong in China, now all over the world, everybody's starting to know that there is this ancient practice called Falun Dafa. And anybody who studied Falun Dafa teachings and did the Falun Dafa exercises, they all say thumbs up, wonderful. Really help the body to be totally elevated.
Why?
The mind, body, spirit totally elevated.
Okay, why China now they do not, the 全字真言, why they do not
九字真言.
why they do not read in China? They know.
I already told you, the Falun Dafa practitioners are persecuted by the Chinese government. When the Falun Dafa practitioners introduced 9 character true words to the Chinese people, the Chinese people, if they are afraid of the Chinese government, they even call police to arrest the Falun Dafa practitioners. If the Falun Dafa practitioners, yeah,
Now
today,
Jiang Zemin died.
yeah, Jiang Zemin dead, but the whole system didn't die. The entire persecution machinery didn't die. Everything's still ongoing. Still today, Falun Dafa practitioners are being tortured to death. I read the Minghui website. Every day there are reports from mainland China who and who were tortured to death. Okay, so right now the persecution towards Falun Dafa practitioners did not stop. Not only didn't stop, some places are still going on in a very brutal way, as you heard about live organ harvesting. During the pandemic, so-called during the plague, a lot of corrupt Chinese government leaders, when they have lung problems, they kill a Falun Dafa practitioner to take their lung for transplant. So even last year I was reading, suddenly 5 lungs are available for someone, the Chinese government leader for lung transplant. Where are all these lung comes from? Right now, not only the Falun Dafa practitioners are being killed, by the Chinese government leaders for organ transplant, even just innocent, regular, young college students, they keep on disappearing. The Uyghurs, they put into concentration camp, they all got blood taken and for organ transplant. So live organ harvesting, initiated by Jiang Zemin, towards the Falun Dafa practitioners throughout the past 23 years. Because the Chinese people are afraid of Chinese government, they do not stand up to say no. Who suffers? They themselves suffers. When the Chinese people are coward, when they see the horrible persecution happening to Falun Dafa practitioners, they pretend that they are blind. They pretend that they're deaf. That's what happened to Wuhan. Why Wuhan had the Wuhan pneumonia to begin with. Why Wuhan suffered so terribly, so many people died. Wuhan is a very, very modern city, and the life is comfortable. People love to enjoy their rich material life. When the Falun Dafa practitioners were persecuted, my friend, Miss Gao in Toronto told me, she was just doing Falun Dafa exercises, beautiful, peaceful, outdoor. She was taken into the police station, tortured, almost died. Okay, Wuhan people, they pretend nothing happens. Falun Dafa practitioners were tortured just for meditation, like we do, like I do every day here in America. If I do this in China, I would be put into mental hospital, put into brainwashing center, put into jail, torture. This is what is happening, has been happening for 23 years in China to the Falun Dafa practitioners. You tell me, why China? Right now, 270 million Chinese people all contracted the virus. Are they all reciting 9-character true words? They should. If they do, their life will be saved. Every single one of them. As long as that Chinese person believes my words, believe Falun Dafa practitioners' words, believe the Falun Dafa practitioners risking their life, knocking at the door, try to teach them 9-character true words. They should not call the police and get the Falun Dafa practitioners arrested and killed even. This is the horrible consequence that why the Chinese people right now, the day before yesterday when I was saying, all these famous scholars, academy members in China, they're dying, they're dead. 42, I think, dead. Chinese Academy of Science, the biggest brain in China, they're all dead. Why? Because they pretend to be blind. They pretend to be deaf. When they heard about Falun Dafa practitioners' true words, they don't say anything good. They proactively help the Chinese government to persecute even Falun Dafa practitioners. You know why Chinese people, a lot of them are doomed? Because they participate in helping the Chinese Communist government to persecute Falun Dafa practitioners, causing so many horrible, horrible sufferings of the entire family, friends, neighbors of Falun Dafa practitioners. Those people, even some of them are Falun Dafa practitioners' own parents, brother, classmates. They betrayed the Falun Dafa practitioners like my parents, my brother. They all worked for the Chinese government, tried to put me into mental hospital. I'm even in America. They tried to put me into mental hospital, label me as mentally ill. You can imagine how brutal it has been for 23 years inside of China. 100 million Falun Dafa practitioners were subjected to the most horrible persecution. Majority of the Chinese people pretend that they don't know about it. What's the consequence of it? Now everybody gonna suffer. Everybody going to be punished. You said plague, 瘟疫, is 天成, yes. When people has no moral, when people are given the truth about horrible things happening right in front of their eyes, like my own parents, my own brother, no moral, no okay? They have no conscience. They only want their daughter to continue to be successful, making a lot of money, so that they can enjoy the glory of their daughter's success. And the moment that they heard their daughter is practicing Falun Dafa, they immediately try to crack down, like the Jiang Zemin's regime towards their own daughter. That's what's horrible about the Chinese people right now. Majority of the Chinese people, my story is not single. I'm among the hundreds of thousands of Chinese families that their parents, their brother, did horrible things to their own beloved family member just because they choose to practice Falun Dafa. So what's going to happen to these people? I spent 18 years trying to tell my parents, my brother. Now I don't even call them my parents, my brother anymore because they continue to refuse to change. So I said, sorry, my body, my life, originally you, the parents give my body, give birth to me. But because of your persecution, I would probably my true past body already dead many, many times. But my teacher saved me. Falun Dafa saved me and gave me a new life, a new body. So my mind, my spirit, you didn't give me anyway. My body, you persecuted to death. And you tried to ruin my entire body. I would be dead a long time ago if you guys succeeded. But my teacher gave me a new body. So I'm not your daughter. I'm not your sister. That's the truth. Okay. Today I'm alive because my teacher saved me, gave me a second life. So who's my parents? My teacher. My teacher is my mother. My teacher is my father. Because my life is given by my teacher. Okay. And I say thanks to Falun Dafa, thanks to our Creator. Today I am still here. And because of that, I want to tell everybody that yes, just like Jesus said, you have to be born again to return to heaven. That's what Jesus said. With your earthly body, you cannot enter heaven's gate. You're going to have to be reborn because of your faith in God. I experienced that. I use my own life experience that I watch my old body die, and I watch my new body is being formed by Falun Dafa, the law of the universe. That's why my faith towards the law of the universe, nobody can change it. Because I validated, I observed as a scientist. I study human body science. I look at the whole human body formation at the molecular level as a scientist. When I become a spiritual practitioner, I also, with rationality, observed my whole body change. And the book of Zhuan Falun talks about how the physical body can be transformed into high energy matter. I watched, I observed, I validated that that's true. And it can happen. So this is all very profound, mind, body, spirit topic. We shall go into in more details, but I today just want to make sure I want to deliver this very, very life-saving, strong message to you. And anyone who are watching the video, I hope these 9 characters will save your life at a critical moment. Today you also told me about iPhone 14 saved American couple's life when their car got accident and fell deep into the dark pit, and their phone automatically died to the police. So the police arrived within 20 minutes to save their life. You told me that a good iPhone can save people's life. Correct. But do you know how many stories I heard about Falun Dafa practitioners, family members, friends who got into similar accidents? They had no money to buy an iPhone 14. They had no phone. They fell. They were about to die. Do you know? They survived without high technology. They just recited 真善人好, Falun Dafa好. They all miraculously survived. So I always tell my children, tell all my beloved, whenever you have emergency, don't forget, you can be saved. Heaven is watching. Raise your flag high. 真善人好, Falun Dafa好. Recite loud. okay, you will be saved. Try it. Don't forget about my message. This is really life-saving message. Anyone remember this at critical moment? Recite 真善人好，法人大法好. Definitely. This is the panacea of saving your life. Okay? Pause.